Everybody, today I'm here doing a style using my handy dandy hot sticks, and a lot of you guys remember these bad boys from the 80s when we all loved to have our poodle hair and our fluffy bangs, but these are actually really good for doing vintage styles. So I thought I would show you a vintage style using a combination of these and my trusty curling iron. So hopefully you guys find this useful, and without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so first you are going to spray on a setting spray, and I am using this setting spray from the Leopard Lounge. The Leopard Lounge is a vintage hair salon in Australia, in Sydney, and she gave me some of this stuff when I was there, and it's really awesome, so I'm using this. You can totally use whatever you want, but you're just going to spray it through your hair. Pay really good attention to the ends of your hair. So now you're going to separate out the front section of your hair. So I'm just taking my natural part. If you don't have a natural part that is over as far as mine, you just kind of want to part your hair where your forehead comes to its natural point on whichever side seems most natural to you. Then you're going to part your hair just like you do when you do your victory rolls, except instead of going from the top of your ear like I usually do, I'm going from kind of like just the part of my hairline that goes the farthest in, so like where your eyebrow point meets. So it's kind of like you just want to find your most natural part on the side. So it might be a little bit higher for some of you, it might be a little bit lower for some of you, but for me, I like just where my hair starts to come in, like where it comes in the most towards my face. And then you're just going to part your hair around to where your part ends. So this section of your hair should be about this big, and I'm just going to pin this part of my hair up while I work on the rest of my hair. Okay, so make sure you brush through the spray that you've sprayed onto your hair, the setting spray, because you want your hair to be nice and smooth. And I have my pack of curlers, of curling rods, and this comes in small and medium. The pinks are the smalls and the purples are the mediums. If you have more hair or thicker hair, or you want tighter curls, you can do 2 of these. I suggest if you want a really true traditional vintage look that you do at least 2 of these, maybe even 3 of them. But the pink ones are going to give you those tighter vintage curls, and the purple ones are going to give you looser curls. So I tend to do the purple ones on the top layers and the pink ones on the bottom layers, because my bottom layers are the layers that have the hardest time curling. So I'm going to start at the top, and I'm just going to do my hair in sections that are pretty even. So this is about the size of my section on top. Be really careful because these suckers get really hot. Oops. Purple, not pink. So you're just gonna wrap them around and be really careful to make sure that all of your little spiky ends are tucked. So if you have layered hair, just be super careful that you don't get any of those ends kinked, because that will create weird ends on your curls. And then just twist it together and tuck in there. And you want it as tight to your head as you can possibly get it. Just a little bit, so yeah. One thing to remember also when you're putting your curlers in, actually 2 things. Make sure that your curlers are really hot. So most of your curlers will come with this little dot right here, and right now it's white, but it's usually red. So you want to make sure that that turns white, and that will tell you that your curlers are really nice and super hot. The other thing that you want to remember is when you're wrapping the hair around your curler, you don't want to twist it. So you want to make sure that the hair is flat as you wrap it, because if you twist it, it's going to give you more of a spiral curl and less of a vintage curl. So if you want to just wrap the ends and then kind of twist it up for the rest of the way, that'll give you more of a pretty soft vintage curl versus that kind of 80s spiral look, which these rollers are very well known for creating. So once you're done curling your hair, it'll look something like this, and you're going to want to let your hair cool completely before you style it and before you start to style the front. So I would give these stick rollers a lot more time than you're going to give pin curls, because with pin curls there's nothing hot in your hair, so the actual hair itself cools down within like 15 minutes or so. With these kind of curlers, I would say give them at least a half hour, if not more, because there's actually hot coils inside of these things, so they're going to take a little bit longer to cool, but that's also the benefit you're getting from them, is that it's really setting that curl in your hair. So give them some time, do your makeup, watch a movie, eat breakfast, do whatever you need to do a jig, that's my favorite thing to do, and make sure they cool down all the way. Okay, so once these are mostly cool, you're gonna start working on your front barrel roll. So you're gonna take down that piece of hair that you've sectioned, and with this part of your hair you don't really need precise curls, so I don't actually put them in the curlers because I think it's just kind of a waste of a curler and a waste of time. So I'm actually using my inch curling iron, and I'm going to separate my long hair from my bangs because it's just easier to curl that way. And you're going to curl it towards the direction that you are going to roll that barrel roll, and that'll help, that'll help the hair to stick, especially if you have short bangs. It'll curl those end pieces and it'll help to form the barrel curl. So with your bangs, you don't really have to curl them all that much to get them to stick. I'm just going to actually pin them up to get them out of my eyeballs so I can see what I'm doing and I don't burn my face off, which is not a good thing to do to yourself. Also, so you don't burn your forehead, which is also not a fun thing to do to yourself. So now with this section, I'm just doing the same thing. Curl it in the direction that you want your barrel roll to go. And you don't have to be super exact. If there's little pieces that kind of float out, that's okay. You just want to make sure, most importantly, that you get the ends and that you don't kink the ends, because then that'll make for kind of an ugly roll. Okay, so once that is done, you don't have to wait for it to cool, it's fine. Now you are going to tease your hair section by section, and I'm doing about maybe like inch sections, maybe half inch. If you want a bigger roll and a more dramatic roll, you're going to tease smaller sections so that your tease is a little bit tighter. I like to do a little bit of a smaller roll because I have kind of a high forehead, so if I do anything really tall, it kind of looks strange on my head shape, but it's totally up to you. So I'm just going to give the roots a nice solid tease. Okay, so just be sure that these curlers are kind of out of the way. So you're going to take this mass of awesome and you're going to give it a little bit of a hairspray. Now, if you have flyaways around your face, like baby hairs and stuff like that, you can definitely use a wax or a spray wax. I prefer a texturizing spray or a spray wax because actual wax out of the jar, unless you know exactly how much to use, tends to make your hair greasy. So you're just going to smooth all the outer layers of your hair, and don't forget when you're doing this that you also want to smooth the back layers, because you can't see it but people around you can, and if you don't smooth the back layers, you're just going to have a big frizzy mess from the back of your hair. So now you're going to take the hair and you're going to wrap it around your fingers just like you do with the victory roll, and make the center roll as big as you want it to be, and then just kind of roll it down. Then give it a pin. Then I give it a good spray, and I'm going to smooth this side before I finish pinning the rest of it. Now I'm going to pin the rest of it, and just be sure that you don't have this falling out of the center of it. You want to kind of push that back. And try your best to hide your pins. It helps to get pins that are the same color as your hair, but it also helps to get a really good tease in your hair, because the better your hair is teased, the better those anchor pins are going to stay. I really only use 2 pins for this, just because the teasing is so good that they just tend to stay. So once you're basically done with that, then you're going to take your curlers out, finish styling this, and then you can smooth the flyaways. But it's kind of pointless to smooth the flyaways around these curlers before they're out, because you're not going to be able to maneuver around very well. So now I'm going to take out all of the curlers from my hair. And just be really careful as you take the curl off of the stick, because these sticks are actually kind of rubbery, and so they're sticky. So if you pull too hard, it's actually going to pull your hair out, and that doesn't feel good. A good trick to taking these out without pulling is release the end and then untwist it before you pull the hair off of the roll, and that'll help to release the curl without giving you the pull of your life. And also make sure that you're releasing the curls all in the same direction so that they all lay together and fall pretty. Okay, so once all of your curl sticks are out, you can work to smooth this curl and lay it the way that you want it to lay for good. So just give it a smooth, make sure that it's laying flat against your head and that there's no gap. And also, if it's too tall right here, you can always pull it this way, and that'll take away some of that height. And then give it a final spray and a final smooth, and then that roll is done. Super, super easy. So now you're gonna run your fingers through these curls, and then using your paddle brush, you're just gonna brush through them. They're gonna be really poodly because these kind of curlers give you curls similar to a wet set. So you just need to brush them until they're smooth and they lay how you want them to lay. And don't forget to smooth those back layers together so that there's no splits in your hair. Just a little bit slow, yeah. So once you're done brushing, you should have a style similar to this, where it's nice and smooth on the top and curly on the bottoms. And that is it. That's your front reverse roll with curled hair using hot sticks. Super easy. This shouldn't take you more than maybe 20 minutes style time. The thing that's going to take you the longest is just waiting for the curlers to cool, but you can do other things while you're doing that. So hopefully you guys found this useful. Hopefully you found it easy. Let me know if there's any other styles you want to see me do using hot sticks. I would be happy to do them. I'm going to try to order another set of them so I can do tighter, more vintage curls with them. But thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys on the next one.